fair point. I think you need to introduce your show.
We don't have a name for the show. That's the problem. Is it the Realestating Co-Experience?
Well, do you want to be? Well, you have the Joe Rogan mics. Do you want to do
The Realestating Experience.
the Realestating
That's
Experience?
such a knockoff. Yeah, no, we can't call it the.
We'll have the
Realestating
exact same
Experience.
like rock music coming in.
Oh my god, same
Be the
dingy
best.
feel. Start smoking on live.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
You can go without name.
With a no name,
We haven't come up with a name yet.
the No Name Podcast.
Well, we're currently stocked as the Realestating Podcast, which
Which is fine for now.
it's great.
New brand coming next month. Just so everyone knows, we're dropping our new brand. I feel like I'm dropping a pair of sneakers. We're dropping our new brand next month in February. We are going public with this new brand that we've been working on for a year now. Actually, more than a year. Our first meeting with our trusted brand team was in December of 2021. So a little bit over a year. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We're going to have a full episode, most likely talking about the struggles of coming up with a new name and making sure that everything's perfect. Our team is has quite the attention to detail, especially Jen and Shadi, who are not here today, but they are the epitome of quality control. They can be a pain in the ass too, but it's part of that's how you grow properly. So yeah, stay tuned for the new brand, February 2023. Mark your calendars. Save the date.
How important do you think Jen and Shadi are when it comes to the perfection of the team?
Well, they are quality control. Like they literally are like they got the final say with anything aesthetic or creative wise. So they're super important. Like Shadi was able to tell when a car was in a car crash when no one else would be able to tell. He has such a keen eye. It's a bit annoying sometimes, but I love him. We all love him. We love you, Shadi. Yeah, no, it's. I think it's a really good combination because I like to get stuff done. I like to just push forward and just go, and it's nice to have that balance, right? Because if not, you just what you put out there is very important, and if it's not vetted properly, if it doesn't go through a certain level of quality control, it can be a little bit poor. So very important.
So we've seen with Jen's interview and Shadi's interview that we know that they're very, very passionate about quality and service. If that's their driving factor, what would you deem, like you say, you put your head down to the grindstone and get it done, but what's the thing that's really driving you in the end of the day?
I like to work. I can't sit still. And I like to create.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see things get done. That's why I have a very, a lot of passion for, construction, renovations, etc. But also seeing the team grow, seeing the results of, a month or two of planning for a listing and seeing it go live, like that's what really drives me. It's like the final product, like creating, like that's really what makes me go crazy.
So then at the end of the day, what would you define as like a successful year, or at the end of your life, what will you deem successful?
Having created a ton of things, a lot of happy stories, a lot of good stories, having that legacy, like, people look back and be like, wow, that guy really helped me, push forward, get forward. He helped me create this. That's really what it is. Whether it's an agent in our team, being like, wow, I had an amazing life because I had great mentors, in Leo, Jen, Shadi, etc. That for me would be success.
To further kind of like going on your life experience that you've talked about in other episodes, and just even me working here, you've told me a lot, taught me a lot. What do you think would be the driving factor other than the concept of I just need to work? Like, is it family? It's just you love the game, you love building something?
I do love the game. I love sales. I think it's I used to sell mandarins by the slice when I was a little kid. True story. So I love sales in general, but yeah, I love the game. But it's also family, trying to get ahead. And our parents were also workaholics. My grandparents, same thing. And it's kind of like, okay, like you want to kind of like one up them, right? Like you want to do better so they're proud and so you can help them out. So family, I think family for me is the biggest driver. If it wasn't for family, I wouldn't be here.
Do you think when the kids get older, they're going to be real estate agents too?
I hope not, but it's a tough business. I hope they don't. I hope that they can pursue something different, or if they really have a passion for it, yeah, for by all means. But it's a tough business. It's a really hard business. There's a lot of sacrifices. I hope my kids can spend more time with their kids.
Do you find day in, day out, the cold calling aspect of the real estate game as difficult, or do you find as you do it more and you get more comfortable on the phone, it just becomes kind of easy and it becomes part of the game?
Same. Yeah, I think it becomes easier as the more you do it. But I also have that experience. Like, I think life, what makes things kind of like fall into place and makes it a little bit easier is when you have that, when you go through the motions, right? Like I literally started making phone calls when I used to work at a company that does payday loans. That was my first job. And I would be calling people that were late on their payday loans to collect money. That's a really tough phone call. You know what I mean? Like these are people that have maxed out their credit cards. They go to get a payday loan and then you got to call them because it bounced. That's a really hard phone call to make. So I was doing that every day. And then I was selling cars, another grind and a half. And, same thing. Like you're just calling every day. So, calling people to offer real value and, trying to get them ahead in life with real estate, it makes it a little bit easier, right? But no, yeah, I think it's part of the game, and I think everyone in the team has bought into that too, and it's really helping us have more control of our business, and also to stay in touch more with our clients and actually being able to offer. And sometimes people think, like, as an agent, you might think, oh, I don't want to bother my clients, I don't want to bother my friends. Like sometimes, and you have to understand, like sometimes people want to talk to you sometimes. And that's why social media has become very powerful, because it's like you post something out there and your friend who was a bit shy to talk to you will reach out, from a post and be like, hey, I was thinking of buying a house or whatever. Like people want to hear from you. And I find that social media now is so saturated that people want to go back to the basics. Technology has overwhelmed people. I find we had a meeting today, with Stefano and one of his clients, and she was hesitant. She's like, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not sure. And in the meeting, she was so it was so refreshing for her, right? She's like, wow, yeah, you guys, pretty much you guys brought a lot of value to the table. But what was so impactful for us is like, yeah, like you literally got a head start. You literally shined amongst all the other people that are trying to sell me something because you picked up the phone. Like she literally said, you picked up the phone. You didn't text me, you didn't email me, you called me. People don't do that. People don't pick up the phone. People have a hard time picking up the phone. And I think that the more and more people want to go back to basics. People want to hear someone on the other side. And people are so overwhelmed with text and emails and this. And, if you want to get stuff done, you pick up the phone. Period. I'm very passionate about that. You pick up the damn phone and get it done.
Yeah, I can see that. No, that's definitely passion there.
Yeah.
Do you think it's an overwhelming negative effect with the introduction of technology in, I'd say just in like society and in life? Do you think the over connection to people makes it harder to have a deep connection when it comes to business?
Yes, I think so. I mean, that's a big topic. I mean, we could talk about an hour about that. But yeah, I think that people are, it's we're not connected. You said that we're hyper connected, but at the same time we're not. Like there's no depth. I find, it's a bit too superficial, and we're all part of it too. We scroll, and you feel like you know someone, but you don't really know them, right? So I think it's important to. I think it's a great tool though. Social media is a fantastic tool. You can meet people. what I like to do sometimes, you meet someone that seems interesting, you send them a message, be like, hey, this is what I do, can I take you for lunch? I want to pick your brain.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear what you do. And great relationships have started like that, really.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I think that's something that you should do more. Honestly, even in my own life, I think that's something. Find someone interesting, you say, hey, let's go for food,
100%.
go for a phone call and see what happens,
Yeah.
because a lot of stuff can happen out of that, and you're right.
Yeah, and I mean, most people put their highlight reel on social media, right? But at the same time, it's you can tell a lot of a person. Like if you can read through the lines, you can tell a lot by their social media, by what they post, the language they use. You can get to know someone to a certain extent, and at least to determine if it's worth going out for a chat, for a coffee or whatever. Yeah.
What do you think makes your brand more memorable than any other real estate firm?
Which brand?
I'm not saying anything. I'm not
the new brand.
I'm not privy to say anything.
The new brand is gonna be extremely memorable because it's us, and that's why we got
Through and
that's
through.
why we're doing the new brand, because we wanted something that was more us, something that was like a reflection of who we are and what we stand for. So I think that's why it's going to be so memorable. It's not just a name that I'm like, oh, that sounds like a cool name, let me use that. No, like it was like a very, like almost like a scientific approach to coming up with the name,
Yeah.
It's funny enough that we used a lot of our media team, our brand strategy team at Godspeed. They actually and I don't want to talk too much about this, but like they actually spoke with a bunch of our clients to really get to know like what made them tick, what was special about the experience, right? And that's kind of how we came up with the name. It wasn't like, oh, this is a cool name, let us put meaning to it. No, it was the other way around. Let us find who these people are, like what are we all about, and then we come up with a name, kind of thing. So I think that's why it's gonna be so memorable, because people are gonna see the name and be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, it's them. Like it's.
Do you have?
I almost said the name by accident.
You could say it and we'll beep it out. Just because I know I saw like in your
I
eyes,
almost-
you
I
were
almost
like
said-
I'm about to say it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll beep it out. Beep.
Yeah, that would have been great if I said.
That's awesome. Give me one of the funniest stories you've had in real estate. Cause I've had Shoddy when I first got here. He was telling me some story about like fire alarms, and it was like it wasn't.
It was touching, but not funny.
Pardon me.
It was touching.
It was touching, but the way he brought it up to me was like, that's kind of funny that like the thing that made their day was something so simple. Is there something that's either say heartfelt or something you find really funny?
Man, I don't know. Funny, there's probably a lot, but you catch me off guard. Stefan, a funny story? Think.
Funny story.
You're good with this. You're good with this stuff.
Funny story.
Man, there's so many.
Funny story.
Yeah. We tend to be a pretty serious team, so there's not a whole ton of funny.
Well, yeah, could be funny. Could be funny. When I first met you.
Come over to the mic.
When I first met you. Where's my?
Just come over to this one.
Just sit there, man.
Yeah. Watch that.
How are we doing this year?
On the fly, additional guest.
Additional guest on the fly. That's...
Move the baby crib.
Can you see the baby crib on the thing?
No, you're all good.
Yeah. We have a
You have
1-year-old.
to cuddle up.
We have a 1-year-old in their team.
Yeah.
Start them young.
One funny, but maybe not that funny, was when I first met you and I was shadowing you to do some showings, and you had an appointment that you forgot about it, which is kind of classic, given your good time management.
It's the Latino time management. It's gotten better though.
And then so you forgot about this appointment, and you're calling the client. So we're already late. You're calling for a rental property. You're calling the client to say, "Oh, I'm gonna be late already, like half an hour. Would you like? Can I offer you something to eat?"
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
So we stopped. We stopped to grab them sandwiches. at lunchtime in a busy place. For lunchtime, we were in line, and and then so we were even more late. And then we got there, and the family is waiting for us in the lobby for like an hour and a half, probably.
Yeah, no, not that much.
An hour.
45 minutes.
An hour, yeah.
45 minutes.
But and everything was fine. They didn't end up renting the unit, but
They were happy, yeah.
but only you can pull this stuff,
Yeah.
What type of sandwiches were they?
Oh, we're full. A lot of sandwiches.
Bottega.
It was
From Bottega,
full
yeah.
sandwiches, full stuff. Like
It was,
you
yeah.
cannot even. Yeah, they don't even fit in the bag almost.
Yeah, that was good.
Those
Yeah,
type
that was
of
good. Yeah.
sandwiches. But yeah.
Well, as if you
Perfect, funny story.
remember that, man. That's crazy. Yeah.
But
They were happy with the
they
sandwich.
were
huh?
happy. They were happy. They were happy with the.
Did we rent
offer.
something to them? No.
Pardon me?
Did we end up renting something to them? No.
No, I don't think.
They probably never called us again after that. Yeah.
No.
Took the sandwich and ran. Yeah.
Yeah. They were nice, but yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. That's great.
that's the best I could think. In a few.
That's
seconds.
fantastic. Just
That's a good story,
Yeah.
though.
talk shit about my time management. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Can we kick this guest out, please?
That's
it. I'm done.
You're good. He's not wrong. Having this thing like recording constantly would be kind of funny.
It
Like
would
in
be.
the office, I think we might get in trouble, but that's a funny moment.
It is a funny moment. There's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of funny moments. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to think of a funny moment on the fly. I don't know why.
Oh, I had to corner him somehow.
Yeah.
I had to stump him. He probably has answers for everything else I'd get, but
Yeah, no, that was a tough one. Yeah. Caught me off guard there.
yeah. Well, we'll go back to something that's going to be in the wheelhouse. When it comes to educating yourself on the changing market, like social media is a good example, or the changing tides of how the economy's looking. What is something that you do or you promote within your team as the leader with you and Jen to like kind of further foster the more learning process within your teams?
Well, we talk about it every day. That's really it, right? You talk about it. Like you literally talk and discuss about it and like, hey, what are you thinking about this? Like the stats came out, right? For December, they came out. Okay, we talk about it, whether it's in team meeting or just informally, text, whatever. Like, hey, these are the stats. Take a look. What do you think? What's your take on this? Where do you think the market's going to go? And it's kind of like challenging everyone, right? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Right. And also talking to our peers too, like outside our team, right? Like we're not afraid. Like we're not like, oh my God, we hug the information and like we know, no, like the more I find that the more you interact with others, the more you learn, we have a colleague actually, and he's gotten me obsessed with this. Steve was, shout out again, Steve. Steve actually, he's not part of the team, but he's part of the brokerage, and he'd be a great addition to the team. But side note, but he's actually been tracking inventory levels on a daily basis, weekly basis here in Ottawa, right? And I think it's been invaluable to keep an eye on that, right? As we're looking to list a few properties, personally, a few of our clients as well. I think having these numbers and tracking these numbers has been on that consistent of a basis has been really good to kind of like determine, okay, what's the right time, because that's really what drives, and we can talk about that later, but that's really what's driven the appreciation in Ottawa over the last 5 years. Yes, COVID exacerbated that, but it's mainly inventory driven. It's scarcity of supply. That's really what's happening. And knowing what months, what days, what weeks have the lowest inventory levels, I think is really important. So thank you, Steve.
It's not an apology to Steve anymore. It's a thank you.
It's a thank you to Steve. So yeah, no, it's talking about it. It's talking about it, being open about it, being okay sharing. People come to us, they ask us questions, we ask them questions. We have an amazing leadership team here at Hallmark. It's the biggest Remax in the world, so it comes with its perks. Also, we get the news before anyone else from Toronto because we're based out of Toronto. So that's, it's a huge advantage. Yeah, just talking about it, just fostering communication. That communication, and just pushing people to, like, Stefano, Shadi, Jen, like we always take course. Like whenever there's like a seller rep course, we take it. We'll take it whenever we can, even if it's the third time we're taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Any negotiation course that we can get our hands on, we'll take it. Right? Yeah.
What would you say? Because I've always been interested in real estate, and I think that's kind of where I was like so interested to come work here. What would you say would be like a good starting base for somebody that's trying to get into real estate in either a rental kind of thing, but more entrepreneurial focused?
What do you mean? Like someone that's trying to like sell houses, or someone that's trying to like buy and invest and become
I think
a
buy and
landlord?
invest side of it.
I think it's networking with people that have done it before. Finding someone that you connect with, that can mentor you. A lot of people, like even myself, I'm not like a landlord by any means, but like I have some experience, and if you wanted help with something or advice, I'm happy to give it to you. And I find that a lot of people in our community are like that. People that have way more property than we do are more than happy to sit down and explain and show you the tricks and like the shortcuts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's number one, is just networking with someone that has done it before, or literally just shadowing a team that has done it in the past. Oof, surprise guest. Surprise guest number two.
Guest number 2,
Directly from Lebanon, imported.
What's you doing?
Imported from Lebanon, we have...
From downtown Kazakhstan.
No, not Kazakhstan, no. Downtown Lebanon, from the Jnoub.
Oh, yeah, no. You too, brother. What's going on? What's happening? Am I interrupting?
No, you're actually the guest. You're the guest. You are.
How's my hair?
Have a seat.
Gorgeous.
Oh, I love you. What's going on? What are you guys filming?
Can we film him somehow?
Yeah, wait.
Have a seat. Hey, George Clooney, have a seat. Have a seat.
Switch.
What are we doing?
Switch with it. Just have a seat. Just have a seat.
Is it video though?
No. We're just chatting.
I got a fluff. Then.
Man, you look good. You look good.
To fluff.
I have to fluff.
You look good, man. Can you slap him a couple of times? Throw some water at him. Have a seat. We're just
Your
gonna.
wife is very lovely, by the way.
My wife, how did you meet my wife?
Yeah, what are you talking about? His wife?
I hope that was your wife. Did you see the videos?
Not yet.
The ones that we did in the booth.
Yeah, the one where you're talking shit about me and saying how Jen is great. Yeah,
Did you see it?
of course I did.
That was a brilliant video.
It was okay.
No, it was brilliant. that was post-worthy. Why you?
It was actually good. Have a seat, man. Have him sit.
Get over here.
What's that? That seat looks so uncomfortable.
No, well, you're just kind of sitting up. You'll be good. It's not uncomfortable.
Just have a seat.
Where's all the good people?
He's so good. He's so good at talking to this guy. Eh?
Can I have something?
Just have a. You can have a.
treat
You
afterwards.
can have a seat. That's what you can
I
have.
like the setup though.
Well, thank you.
I like the G.
What G?
The G on the mic.
Oh,
G for gregarious.
Gregation.
Okay, what are we doing? Seriously.
So
What are you guys doing?
you are
Because that red light's on, so I would suspect that.
you are a guest
Yes.
on our third podcast episode.
Okay.
Everyone, this is our dear friend, a mentor, a manager extraordinaire.
Wait, let me just check my eyes.
His name is
Wow, bad hair. I
His-
got gel in the car.
his name is Dan Salhany.
Did you guys see the video that I sent you yesterday?
Which one?
What's his name? Papi.
Who's Papi?
Papi. I sent you the video. The guy making the snow and putting it in his pockets and saying he wants to.
That was funny.
Hey,
That
come on.
was funny. That's me back in 2004.
I know.
actually.
It was you, 100%. Okay. This is nice. I like this setup.
You like it?
You can swing this way, swing this way.
You can swing any way you want.
Okay, seriously, what do we do? What's it? What do you guys need? Steph, how do you do it, man?
So last question was, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to get into
Oh yeah.
investing in real estate?
Someone that wants to get into real estate. Like, what would be your first advice? Someone
To get into real estate from a sales perspective or from as a buyer?
as a buyer, as a buyer, as investor, someone that wants to like build their portfolio. Like, what do you think would be your first advice?
I think the biggest thing is just be confident in the history of real estate and how it's performed, and don't look at today to conclude material facts. Like, actually look at history, where wealth has been developed, and go into any investment objectively, but also recognizing that strategies today will probably have to be longer term, right? It's not. I don't think the short term wins are going to exist for some period of time. I don't think it's going to be as long as we anticipate. And I think once the Bank of Canada recognizes that they can only get inflation under control at a certain level, they're going to have to look at other avenues of either controlling economies or accept the fact that this is the new economy, this is the new world, and this is the way that people. I mean, everything's changed, like with crypto and with all these things that are conversation pieces about other ways of creating wealth and whatnot. But again, I would say that from the real estate perspective is just focus on the history and focus on the data that exists, that's existed for 75, 80 years.
Yeah.
And look at everything from geography, economics, transitions, what governments are doing, where they're anticipating growth. And I know that there's 2 primary cities in Canada, Ontario being the primary focus, but certainly Ottawa being the capital and having such such high employment rates and so forth, and average household income is quite strong. I mean, none of that is going away.
Yeah.
Right. We're not going backwards. We're going forward.
Yeah.
And I think you're actually going to see a different type of immigrant. And we'll talk about immigration really quickly. There's the gates are open for 400,000 new immigrants to come to Canada. The eyes are going to be on Western Canada and Central Canada primarily. Now, whether governments force people to go to certain regions, that's a different story. But I think people will inevitably, within very short periods of time, migrate to Ontario and probably maybe parts of Quebec. And I think that like cities like Ottawa will be definitely target environments for those people. The immigrants that are coming are a different type of immigrant than when, for example, when my father came back in the 1950s, right? They came here with virtually nothing and very little education, whereas the people that are coming today are actually reasonably well-to-do, extremely well-educated, and they're coming here with resources and with foundational education to essentially expedite the process of creating success and buying into real estate in environments. And they know from where they've come from most of those countries, that real estate is like the one greatest asset to acquire. And and in many cases they can't do that in the environments that they're in, just because the masses and the size, the land masses and so forth don't allow for it. So there's lots of opportunity here for sure.
That's a good point, actually. The immigration. I think that's, and also, we were talking earlier about inventory levels, and that's really what's triggered the appreciation in Ottawa over the last half a decade or so. And unless supply really, kicks off in a good way, exponentially, I think it's going to be really hard to tame inflation in the housing industry, at least.
Well, and I think what's happened with all of these attempts at controlling economies, I actually think that at some point in time, the banks are in business to make money, and there's going to come to be a point in time that unless people are actually borrowing with repetition, and those numbers are changing, and people are increasing their borrowing numbers, right? Banks can't stay flat because they've got a responsibility to their shareholders and whatnot to increase their margins, increase their bottom line. Rates are going to come down. I anticipate that's going to happen sooner than later. And I think in seeing that some of the builders right now have held off on increasing their inventory or moving ahead with a lot of their production and a lot of their development, just because of the demand has slowed down, I think we're actually brewing for they call it a perfect storm, but it's going to be an unperfect storm, because I think we're actually going to see potentially what we saw in 2020 and 2021. We're going to see it come back to hit us in the face. And if that happens and it comes in rapidly, then we'll actually have even less supply than what we've had over the last 24 or 36 months. The problem isn't consumers and so forth and interest rates and whatnot. It's been the lack of supply.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with, try to get a permit, try to get anything done.
It's insane.
And that's been a huge factor. And I feel for the developers that haven't been able to keep up. I think that something else that we're going to have to look at is opening the doors to migrant laborers. I think that that's going to have to be something that we're really going to have to look at, whether they're from Southern America.
They're starting to do that actually right now. I don't have much information on that. That'd be a good episode, actually.
Yeah, it's got to happen faster, though.
Yeah.
It's got to happen faster, and they're going to have to incentivize people I mean, let's be honest. If you're in South America and you've got an opportunity to come to Canada to work and to make money for your families and the type of money that they can make here, you know, they'll be coming in droves to work here, and I think that's what needs to happen to satisfy the demand.
Makes sense.
To be quite frank with you,
that makes sense. Yeah, because we talk to contractors all the time, and they're not slowing down. Like renovators, contractors right now, like yes, they've seen some sort of a slowdown, but nothing.
Well, it's all timing, right? It's all timing too, because you got to look at any of the development and the real estate that's being conducted right now. From a new construction perspective, it's not stuff that was sold last week or last month. These are homes that were sold in 2019, 2020, 2021, and they're still catching up. It's just a new development that's been kind of halted. You see that in a lot of the builder sites and so forth, that they've
slowed down. Yeah, they're cutting their prices a lot too.
Yeah, to a certain degree. I mean, they're having to keep up with what the market demand is, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's something that hasn't propelled forward the way it was. But I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, right? All I can look at is 50 some odd years or 60 some odd years of real estate that we chart as a board. And then look at the fact that I've been doing this for 30 some odd years and I've seen a couple markets that
30 some years, but you look 45.
Oh, I love you, man. Thank you. I was very young. Are you even 30? No. Christ, that's a long time. No, but realistically, right? Like, I mean, everything is a cycle.
Yeah.
Everything cannot continue to go up, and everything is a cycle. And we'll see what all the effects of all these changes are. But I anticipate that we're going to bounce back. And if we bounce back, I think it's going to be even more difficult to acquire real estate, to be honest with you. On the other end of things, meaning people are going to want it. And
it's going to be harder because higher rates, higher prices still.
Yeah, prices will bounce back.
Yeah.
Prices will bounce back. So,
yeah.
Anything else you want to know?
No. Well, I don't know. What are your predictions for 2023? What would you recommend a team of young immigrants like us?
Oh, no.
What would you recommend? What would you recommend?
You know what? Just keep doing more of what you're doing. I think you have to honestly, you have to tap into a different consumer base. I've been saying this now probably for about 5 or 6 months. So you've got to start looking at other resources you've got to look at institutional opportunities and not consumer opportunities. And when I say institutional opportunities, you've got to tap into companies that do relocations. You've got to tap into trustees, because there will be some people that will run into jams and run into problems. You got to have really in-depth relationships with lawyers, some accountants, insolvency, or I said trustees, but insolvency groups that help people when they're in trouble. Because there is going to be business that's, unfortunately, there's going to be homes that have to be sold, right? Because you're never in trouble unless you have to sell, right? And I think that's an avenue of opportunity for sure. And I think for a team such as yours that is very interactive and very involved, be involved in community, really, and genuinely care about consumers and what happens to them, and have their well-being and what's best for them at the forefront. The byproduct is, I think you guys will be just as busy. I mean, your volume will probably be down a bit, so you're gonna have to figure out how you're going to replace that natural volume with that organic volume that you've developed over the last X number of years being in business with new business opportunities and new avenues where that business comes from. That's very annoying,
I'm sorry.
When you're interviewing with somebody, what's the first rule of thumb? Phones off.
Yeah, Carson.
Terrible.
Unacceptable.
What else? That's it. Did you guys just video all of this?
Yeah, we're recording. It's a pod. It's
we got a 3-way going.
Welcome to the Realestating Co. podcast.
Oh, is it still Realestating Co.?
Yeah, we haven't launched publicly.
See how I kept that in deep.
Yeah, we can always bleep it out too. Yeah. But
I've been good, eh?
Yeah, you've been pretty good.
I did that social thing, and did you notice how the name was on the screen?
I saw that. I like that.
Yeah, it's called
and you blurred it.
That's called editing. Editing.
You blurred it.
Yeah.
No, that was nice. That was a good party. Yeah.
Great party.
Yeah, very nice. It was Carson's birthday that day.
Yes, I did. I think I wished you a happy birthday that night.
I think all of you guys sang happy birthday to me.
Oh, we sang. That's true. We sang twice, actually. Yeah.
Who's cutting your hair these days?
His name is Fadi. Why?
One of my cousins?
Maybe a far cousin for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? You don't like it? Too short? My wife doesn't like it. It's too short.
It's okay. He took a little bit.
What do you think, public? Tell us. Is it too short?
Look
Do I
at
say
Sarah.
too
He's
short?
got like the athlete hair going on.
He's got the Matthew McConaughey
it
look.
is, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
He's Matthew McConaughey's
When are the kids coming
last
in?
son. Huh?
When are the kids coming in for a visit?
I don't know. Maybe,
I have work to
maybe
do.
next week.
Jesus, what is
You
this?
know how what work you have to do right now.
Oh,
It's
what work?
Friday
Okay.
at 2:30 p.m.
I'm meeting an agent this weekend. Like, it never stops, buddy.
Yeah.
I haven't stopped even during Christmas. I was here on the 31st of December. I was here on Christmas Day.
So Dan is a recruiter here as well. If you ever want to make a move to the biggest Remax in the world, you call Dan.
I think it's not just for that. You know what? I think it's just about
It comes with its perks.
comes with its perks. You know, I think we try our best, and I think we bring as a best of value as you can in the real estate market for agents, for our agents, and for other agents too. You know, it's kind of cool. Like, a lot of the stuff that we put on, we open it up to all agents in our region, regardless of whether or not they're with our brokerage. Because, you know, for us, I say this all the time, having a better quality realtor for our realtors to interact with
It's the best.
is just, it creates a better win-win
Yeah.
for the consumers, because they're being represented more professionally and better, and then also for the whole interaction and for the whole transaction. You know,
Yeah, that's true. It's all about value.
it's all about value. I
That's
want to know
it.
where you guys got these mics. How's the sound?
Sound
Testing,
is
testing.
fabulous.
Is it?
The sound is really good.
Is it really good? Is this setup work?
I don't know, Carson. Does it work?
Can you hear us
Yeah,
on
I'm
that?
hearing you on that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not just wearing a
This,
headset.
I thought you were
does
blocking.
this setup work?
I thought you were blocking us out.
No, I was trying.
Oh. Why? What are you changing? Did it die already?
Died on this one.
Oh.
We've been going for 45 minutes.
What have you guys been talking about?
Oh wow!
Honestly, I was just like
you,
interviewing
you
Lou.
can cut that. And then you can cut that.
Sorry, did I not do a good job?
I'm
Is there anything you
fucking
want
with
me
you.
to say?
I'm fucking with you.
Realestating and Co.
You know, but it would be good.
Thank God for your wife, eh?
I know, man. Thank
Honestly, let's be honest. Let's have a vote here.
You're such a bitch.
Steph, would you not agree?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you
Carson.
recording?
I cannot confirm nor deny any information.
Carson's team Leo, man.
We also. We need to
It's not hard. It's not hard.
But what's the interview?
I know
what's
what
the,
you're worried about.
What's the interview process? Like, what are you hoping to achieve out of the interview?
It's more to kind of like get people to know us, get
To know
people
you.
to know us and what we do, who we do it with, you know, to learn about the market, you know, what we think about the market, what you know, any insider stuff that we come across,
You're gonna have to bleep that word out. Insider.
insider information. No, like, you know, we get news, you know, quicker typically than
Sure.
most.
Just sharing data.
Just sharing that information, and also, like, you're a perfect example, right? Like what you said right now is fantastic, you know, being part of the leadership here. And also, like last 2 weeks ago, we had a good client of ours that works at RBC, right? So he gave us a lot of like his point of view on what's happening on the market, etc., what his predictions are. And I think that's what people want to hear about, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I actually have a good
but-
friend of mine that works at RBC that gives them economic insight. He's a professor at the university as well,
There you go.
and he's a former mortgage broker. You should maybe have a conversation with him.
We're open to
He's
that.
got a
We
very,
got to make a list.
so he's got a very good view. I met with him for breakfast 2 weeks ago. Not even, with Frederick Yam. So he and I and Frederick Yam know each other quite well. So I invited him out, and he's done a huge study on recessions. So he went back and he looked at the last 3 recessions that we've gone through in Canada, and basically dissected them, taken them apart as to, like, how did recessions look, timing, and so forth and so forth. They still haven't called that we're in a recession yet.
No.
But our recovery time in Canada historically, from when a recession is called to when we come back to recovery, and where people are like really, well, the funny thing is usually there's no spending that's taking place. There's a lot of spending that's still happening.
Yeah. And it's employment. The reason why they haven't called it, I think, is because employment's still really high.
Yeah, but I mean, Ontario is a big part of Canada, and I think we're doing really well here. But I mean, there are parts of the country that employment rates are quite a bit lower than they are here.
Yeah.
Or unemployment, sorry, is higher.
Unemployment's higher, yeah. But I think it's still pretty good though.
I mean, the reality is this: if you want to work today, there's jobs out there.
There is work. Yeah.
That's the bottom line. I mean, I've seen so many. We're hiring. You know, and do you know
From
of
anywhere.
anybody? Yeah, do you know?
Anywhere from
It's
like
just about setting expectations.
blue
and-
collar, white collar. Everyone's a lot of people are hiring. Yeah, like a lot of high tech. I think was, I mean, it was over. A lot of it was overvalued, and the projections were a little bit wonky. But so they laid off. But in general, I think there's a lot of people still hiring. Yeah.
It's a nice watch. What kind of watch is that?
Thank you. It's Tissot.
It is, eh? I had one of those.
Yeah,
I gave it to my dad.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice of you.
Want to be considerate. Why'd you have to stick your face into the mic like it was like...
Just to make sure the people can hear me.
Oh.
Because I'm talking low.
Carson, I'm going to have to go now. Thanks for your time. Steph,
Thank you so
always
much.
good to see you.
Thank you.
Carson saw our video, by the way, the other day of our challenge.
Which one?
The one that happened on this table.
Oh, when you got bodied.
What the fuck, man?
No.
Why would you show him that?
The one...
Yeah, why would you show him that?
What am I in trouble for?
Yeah, why would you show him
I
that?
don't know. We were having a discussion about something, and then...
No, you were showing the ice video.
Joe, delete that video, man.
Oh, yeah. Was that Spanish?
Yeah, delete that video, please.
But I did tell him about what you did to me at Costco.
Yo, you almost knocked me out. Now, that's a funny story, yeah.
That was a good story.
That's a funny story.
But the better one was you driving on Baseline Road.
Oh, no, we don't tell that story. But yeah,
I told Carson, what was the young lady's name that was here with you?
Carla.
Carla.
That's it, Carla.
So I actually know Maria Iglesias.
Really?
Yeah, from like way back in the day.
Everyone knows Maria, and everyone knows you.
Apparently.
You're famous.
Am
Yeah,
I?
Dan Salhany's famous. He was in the Lebanese Idol back in the day.
I was. Do you know that I'm related to Paul Anka, right? Are you putting stop to this? I would.
No.
It's not even recording.
Yes, it is.
Testing.
Recording. Who's Paul Anka?
You're gonna get me fired.
You don't know who Paul Anka is?
I'm not Paul
Stereo.
Anka.
Really?
No idea.
Paul
I know there's a
Anka
street
is
called
a-
Paul Anka.
Paul Anka Drive. Yeah, he's a famous singer from Ottawa who sang with Frank Sinatra.
He wrote My Way.
hmm
Oh, really?
Diana.
Oh, I love that song.
Come on, you gotta know Paul.
I don't know Paul Anka.
Wow, that's weak. Yeah. Where are you from again? El Salvador?
Honduras.
Oh, that's it, yeah. What's happening there?
Not
Pretty rough.
much.
It's tough, eh?
Same thing. Same like always, man. High corruption.
It's happening here, too.
Yeah, but not as blatant. Not as blatant as there. That's the problem. There's a problem in third world countries. I mean, everywhere has corruption, but there it's just too blatant.
Very sad what's happening in the world. There's enough resources, there's enough money, there's enough everything for everybody to live peacefully, kindly,
don't get it, man.
happily, but, you know.
People don't get it.
I'm watching this series now called Succession. It's on Crave.
Oh, wait, it's the best.
Don't get me started. So
Are you watching?
I've watched all the way up, waiting for the new season.
Okay, wait a minute. So
There is
is
a
it
season coming
is
out?
it 3 seasons? Have you watched 3?
Yeah.
Did the guy die? The young guy?
Have you watched 3?
We can't say that.
So I can't remember. So listen. So Franco Ippolito.
I
you know
watched.
Franco
I
lives
wa-
like
I
5 minutes
watched-
from you,
I
right?
watched 2 episodes.
So Franco and I, he has a gazebo. It's the size of in here. We have a TV in there. It's
Oh, nice.
It's heated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in his backyard. Well, we put heaters. It gets
I'm
to
gonna
about
go
15
crash
degrees.
one of these days there.
Come.
He always tells me
2-3 nights of the week we go. We get our cigars.
the best.
We get a Perrier, some nuts, and we watch a couple of episodes of Succession. So first we watched White Lotus. Did you watch that one yet?
No.
Did you watch it? Okay.
No, I haven't watched it. A lot of people talk.
And every time I'm watching Succession, I'm like, this is the dumbest. Why did you make me sit down and listen to this? And then you're like this.
Nah.
Okay, wait, one more season.
There's
No,
some
one more
good lines.
episode. Another.
Some good lines there.
Oh, listen. I wrote down.
Do you want to call your dad? Do you want to call your dad?
Do you wanna
Do
call your dad?
Do you want to call your dad? Do you need to call your dad?
What? Who says that?
Huh?
What's his name? The guy that's Macaulay Culkin's brother.
No.
Is it
no,
Macaulay
no.
Culkin's brother?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
The one that looks.
Kieran McCulkin.
No.
Kieran
Yes.
McCulkin. Yeah, that's Macaulay Culkin brother.
Kieran.
Oh, is he actually his brother?
Yeah.
Oh, the
real
one that
life?
talks like
Lookalike,
the
yeah.
one that says like he jerks
Yeah,
off
Justin
Justin.
from the window there.
Is he actually his brother?
His brother.
That's why he's like looks so familiar. I was trying to figure it out yesterday.
Yeah.
So he said something. Yeah, he said something. Not the last episode, the one before. The last we watched last night, 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago. And I think it was the dad. And I write down all these little sayings, like,
Yeah.
like fuck donkey gang or something like
Yeah.
that. And then his sister said to him, "What are you jerking off dust or something like that?" Like it's just,
No worries.
some of the stuff is terrible.
Cut that off, please.
But,
Oh,
you guys-
delete.
cousin Greg is.
Oh, Greg's a little. Greg right now, I'm realizing, is actually more shrewd. And I think so. The one that we watched yesterday, the episode that we watched yesterday, is when they're in the villa in Italy, and the dad is doing the deal with the Gojo guy, and they're doing it behind the kids, and the kids all show up in his room and realize they're like, "What are you doing?" And then we can veto you. We can like stop you. We're at that. Did you watch it?
No. I watched 2 episodes.
Your wife doesn't let you?
No, we don't watch TV at home. She doesn't let me.
Why do you gotta keep turning your face like the mic's not catching you?
Just in case it's not catching me. There you go.
Look at the size of it.
There you go.
You're not used to something like that.
I don't know. I'm not used to it. No.
Hey,
You're probably used to it, eh?
Not quite.
You're probably used to grabbing thick mics like that, eh? Yeah.
Where does this conversation go?
I don't know, man.
When
You
are we
tell me.
changing your carpet? Did anybody come to measure?
No one's come to measure anything.
No, yes, she did.
What are you asking?
Okay,
about?
I'm on it. Leave it with me. I told you I'm getting it done. Oh yeah, we can't do vinyl. It's gonna
Why?
cause a shitstorm
Why?
because everybody's gonna want fucking their carpets changed.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
We just tell them that we pay for it.
no, it doesn't matter. They're still gonna want it changed. Oh, okay. Well, we'll do it. We'll pay for it. And now all of a sudden we're having to fucking change everybody's flooring.
Yeah. If
No,
they
we're
pay
gonna
for
put
if they
the-
pay for it,
I got.
better for you
I don't
guys.
have.
it's cheaper for you guys in the long run, especially if people are paying for it.
You guys really messed this place up, eh?
This is beautiful.
Mm.
You don't like it?
It's IKEA.
Huh?
IKEA.
Yeah. You like it or what?
Yeah, it's great. I like that you moved the TV. That was a good move.
You like our wall?
Have you used it?
Of course we
Are
have.
you gonna put the logo there? The team logo?
In the other room,
Which one?
the office across.
What's,
We're
isn't that gonna be
putting-
for your
we're
green
putting-
room?
We're putting. That's where we're gonna do these podcasts. There.
Do you need
we're
a
gonna
green,
have.
do you need a green sheet? I
We're
have
gonna
one.
have. We're gonna have a. We probably don't need
Green
one.
sheet? Yeah, green sheet for green screen.
No, we're just gonna have the logo and.
That's passe now.
no.
Still works.
No, it still works for certain things. So we're gonna have the black screen like that in the back, and then in warm white.
Warm white.
What's it called? Neon.
Lights? Not
The
neon?
Arsene. Yeah, neon lights in the back.
LED.
LED neon.
Well, it's different.
LED looking neon looking LEDs. How's that?
You have somebody to make it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Jen ordered it.
you ordered it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause
Would you have someone?
Yeah, but
Where?
it's too late now. She ordered it. He's
She
here in Ottawa.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh shit.
I
She
go-
goes to
I
Carson.
golf with him. He does like all commercial signage for
Text
like
us.
Popeyes.
What's
and-
his name? I thought you had given us this number. No.
Wasn't me.
No.
No, you,
Maybe the other
you
Dan?
sourced somebody else.
Maybe the other Dan.
You got a lot of hair, eh? I
Nice
just
Dan?
realized that.
Huh?
Who's that?
The other Dan. The nice Dan.
I don't want to be nice Dan.
No?
No.
No.
I'm turning a new leaf. I'm gonna change.
I'm turning. I'm gonna be an asshole.
Not an
Um,
asshole, but you know.
No, keep on being you, man.
Oh,
We like you.
You know what?
We like
I
you
really,
like that.
I really appreciate that.
We
Thank
like you, yeah, like that, yeah.
As Logan would say, "Fuck off." You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Have a good day, Dan.
That's just like every time he tells kids to f off. That's a terrible show. Don't even watch that thing.
Sounds funny.
You'll be corrupted and you'll waste a lot of time. But now I'm hooked.
Thanks for coming, Dan. You want a bubbly?
I was gonna take something, but no, I'll skip.
Take a bubbly, man. Give him a
I'm
bubbly.
just teasing you.
Give this guy a bubbly.
No, Steph. I'm
He
good.
looks.
I had a buble the other day. Actually, not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
You took the worst flavor.
The grape?
Blueberry.
The purple one's the worst.
Grapefruit.
Take cherry. Give him a cherry.
No, I don't want anything. No, I'm good.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wish you a lovely day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Please say hello to your wife, your kids,
We'll do.
your wife that I
We'll
met
do. We'll do. Yeah.
at the party.
Not the girlfriend. It was the wife.
I confused there for a second.
Sorry, bro.
No, it was a while ago.
I
I
almost
wasn't
my foot out of my mouth there. Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Enjoy. Bye.
That was pretty good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This episode, what is this, episode 3? 4?
3.
This is episode 3 of our podcast. Stay tuned for more news, updates, and for a new brand in February. Thanks, everyone.